Listen, y'all already know what this is. Y'all know what this is, right? What it is and what it's always going to be. Now, we all use that phrase, right? We all use that phrase, mouth correction. It's got to be 50-50. I don't want no 50-50. I need 50-50. I hate when people say that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. 50-50 is a lie. 50-50 is a myth. It's not real. Doesn't exist. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm also gonna tell you that it's a guaranteed way to sabotage your relationship. True partnership is not about 50-50. That means you putting halfway the work in. You ain't really putting all the work. You ain't putting it in there. True partnership comes from 100% effort from both parties. And when you come out and you demand 50-50, it oftentimes becomes an excuse to hold back. Reciprocity ain't a real thing in a 50-50. That's why I hate that saying so much. I believe in 100% effort, and that's with everything that comes with a relationship. That's love, that's bills, that's emotional space. I ain't got time for the 50-50. And if you listening to this, right? Drop a comment right now. In your current relationship, is it 50-50? Do y'all believe in 50-50? Is there a real thing as a 50-50? And then, in the same breath, tell me something that you feel like you carry more than 50% of in your relationship. So we're going to talk about it tonight, right? First point of action, explanation is this. Emotional accounting. I call that the scoreboard. All right? You cannot measure what someone does emotionally with a calculator. You cannot keep a scoreboard in love. The moment you start tracking and keeping count and counting favors and, well, I did this, so you owe me that, you already terminated the partnership. And this has made it a transactional contract. That means everything that you're doing now, it doesn't come from love. It comes from transactional affairs. You're treating your partner like a contractor, like somebody that, a temp worker. You know what I'm saying? Not a committed partner. You treating them like a seasonal worker. Like, all right, you here for now. You doing your thing. I like that. But now, you know what I'm saying? You moving around real different and you ain't gonna be here. That help wanted sign finna come up real soon. Sometimes one person might feel like, yo, I'm at 100%. And then they might feel like they partner's at 20 because they're sick, they're tired, they're stressed. A real partner, though, let me tell you something that I learned. A real partner picks up that extra 80, that 80 difference without complaint. Because what you got to understand in a relationship, everybody ain't going to feel they fucking best. Every single day, 365 days. So there will be days. There will be times, there will be moments where you might have to pick up a little bit extra slack than what you're used to. That's why that 50-50 shit don't move me, because it's just a resentment waiting for an excuse to get loud. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition. It's not a battle. It's not about who does what, when they do it, how they do it. My mind frame has always been, I don't care who does what, as long as it gets done. You counting favors. You out here counting favors and telling me, you ain't doing it just to do it. You're doing it for a reason. You're doing it because you got an end game. You want something. Which brings me to the next point of tonight's explanation, the financial trap. If one person, right, makes 100K, the other person makes 50K, right? 50-50, splitting the rent 50-50 means one person is struggling and the other person is just coasting financially. You know what I'm saying? That breeds deep resentment and insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about money. When people get money, they get throwing money in their face. Well, I did this and I contribute to this and I buy this and I do this and I said that, blah, blah, blah. I spent it all on this, da, da, da. Them type of problems will mess up the infrastructure of what you're trying to build. You have to structure the finances so that both people are sacrificing the same percentage of their income for shared expenses. Not the same dollar amount. It don't even matter how much money you make and who does what and I do this and I do. That shit don't matter. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you're in a true relationship, it ain't about counting money. I'm not counting your money because I know that if I'm in a jam and I'm ever fucked up, you got me. If you in a jam and you ever fucked up, I got you. So that way the exact dollar figures and all that shit don't count. Again, you have to structure the finances so both people are sacrificing the same percentage. Because I don't need somebody feeling like I ain't doing my part. You know what I'm saying? My lady will never feel like I ain't doing my part. Because I'm always one step ahead of the curve in most instances. And the stuff that I miss, I'm usually good with figuring it out before they even notice. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around like I got all the money in the world because Lord knows I don't. But let me explain something to you. I'm fiscally responsible in a sense that I may not have all the money in the world, but I'm fiscally responsible. So the little money I do have, I know how to budget it and balance it out. And I may not always have it, but in my mind that if she needs it, I'm going to get up and I'm going to figure out a way to get it. That's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to rob Peter to pay Paul in a sense. But at the end of the day, togetherness is what's going to keep that together. All income ain't equal. So I'm not never with the 50-50, 100 and 100 is what I strive for. And it's okay. It's okay to tell your partner, yo, I ain't got it. It's okay. Solo, what up? Daniela, what up? My boy Saba, what up? It's okay to tell your partner you ain't happy. You don't have to be Superman for your partner, because you have to understand this too, and I see this a lot. You have to understand that if you had everything that you needed, right? What you need a partner for? What you need a partner for if you got everything that you need? What you need a partner for? Because you got it all, right? So what you need them for? Straight up. Why be in a relationship if you know it all, you got it all, you done it all? Why be in a relationship? Which brings me to my next point. The hidden effort. See, who manages the household schedules? Who calls the doctors? Who remembers the birthdays, Father's Day gifts, the Mother's Day gifts? Who remembers special events and all that? That's emotional labor. That takes work. That That takes work. That takes, you know what I'm saying, energy from other things. But because you're so into that, it'll, you know, some things are there. That emotional labor is definitely a job. That invisible work that they don't give us credit for, that's worth more than money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You ever be off your square and you got somebody by your side that knows exactly what you missing or what's not hidden for you? That's emotional labor. It doesn't leave a paper trail. If you constantly ignore or dismiss their 50% of the invisible work, you're disrespecting their commitment. I'm giving you 100% of my time and energy on that because a lot of times you be forgetting. So I'm the backbone that's keeping that going because just in case you forget, I'm right there to help you remember. You know what I'm saying? I never was big on 50-50. I never was big on it. I was big on if something needed to get done, it was going to get done. I never sat here and argued. We can argue about other shit. I never wanted to argue about money. Worst shit in the world to argue with somebody that you live with, that you're around, that you love, is about something as superficial as money. Because money comes and money goes. You know what I'm saying? True love doesn't move like money. You know what I'm saying? I probably touched a whole lot of money in my life and never cried about it. I done touched a lot of women in my life and done cried about it. It's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't crying over losing money because a true hustler gonna know how to get that shit back. So I feel like a lot of times the 50-50 thing is goofy to me. I feel like because at the end of the day, I ain't asking for half. I don't want to do half. I feel like I said earlier, 50-50 is resentment. You know what I'm saying? It's resentment. It's bare minimum if we really gonna keep it a buck. Here's a question though. In your current relationship, if you and your partner have unequal income, is it really splitting the bills? Is that really 50-50 fair? Or do you believe percentage based? You know, we split it up on the percentage of the income. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to think about it like this in a sense. I don't know too many couples who make the same amount of money. So I think sometimes, you know, y'all get a structure of bills and things like that, and y'all figure that out. I think a lot of times too, though, you know, that keeping score shit, it will always go the way that it's supposed to go. You know? So I think a lot of times people get lost. They get lost in it. And, you know, when you keep score of who does what, the person who tracks the score has the power. The person who feels the need to track the score is usually the one who feels cheated or insecure in the relationship. You are trying to achieve emotional equality through, you know, financial or chore-related metrics. That shit don't work. The scoreboard creates a winner and a loser. And in a partnership, if one person is losing, then y'all both losing. How you can sit over here and see somebody that you live with, you build with, how can you sit over here and see them losing and still feel like you winning? How? Explain that to me, because I might be kind of slow. CL, what up? I might be kind of slow. How can you be over here celebrating that you winning and your partner losing and you still feel like you're a winner? How? A mature partnership is based on trust, not constant inspection. Stop trying to audit your partner. Real shit. The expectation of 50% often becomes an excuse to stop doing the thoughtful, unexpected 10%. If I'm worried about hitting that exact 50%, I'm not focused on surprising you with 60% when you need it. That's that bare minimum shit, man. That when you aim for 50-50, you are legally aiming for bare minimum required to avoid being terminated from the job. That's not love. That's avoiding a breakup. That's avoiding divorce. You know, you want a partner who looks for opportunities to serve you, not one who stops when they hit their self-imposed limit. All right, cool. I'm just going to do 50% because that's what she required me to do. That's what he required me to do. I'm just going to be chilling. Stop asking how little you can give to stay in that relationship, because a lot of times people will give you bare minimum. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've seen both sides of that too, where I've done just enough to stay on the job, but not enough to really know that I want the job. You know what I'm saying? We all been there. We all know we going to work and we do what we supposed to do just so we don't get fired, but it's like bare minimum. We don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like bare minimum. Not all 50s are equal. The assumption that both partners have equal skill, equal energy, natural ability in every category. Let's say cooking, planning, household repairs, financial budgets and stuff like that. Your 50% in household maintenance, for example, might take you up to 4 hours and be terrible. Meanwhile, your partner's 50% might take them 2 hours and be perfect because it's their strength. You have to trade according to strength, not just time. If you can get this done in 2 hours, I'm going to let you do it. I ain't going to hold you. Because if it take me 4 hours to do it, I don't want to do it. I'm going to let you do it. If you can cut down the time, the goal is to work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? If I hate budgeting and you love it, you could take 80% of the money management and I take 80% of something that I actually enjoy, like organizing. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Fairness is optimizing your strengths and not mandating weaknesses. Like if you gonna do it and you get it done in less time than me and you get it done right, you got it. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you cook. You got it. You know what I'm saying? That's generally how it's supposed to go. If your strengths are what I'm weak in, then why wouldn't I let you do it? And vice versa. But let me tell you something that I learned though. The person who consistently carries more, even if they hide it, they build silent resentment. And what happens with silent resentment is it's going to eventually explode. If you always the one quietly picking up the slack, you don't argue, you don't complain, you don't bring nothing to it, you don't communicate it, that sacrifice, you are actively creating a monster of resentment inside yourself. You become the martyr and your partner becomes the oblivious villain. They don't understand all the resentment that you have inside because it's supposed to be 50-50. You do your part, I do my part, and boom. But that's poison. And that poison will definitely kill your relationship. And it's your fault. It's your fault because you're not speaking the truth. If you're giving 70%, you have to talk about that extra 20% that you giving, the why and when before you let it boil over. Because eventually, again, it's going to piss you off. You're going to get upset. You're going to feel broken. You're going to feel used. You're going to feel unappreciated. And then that starts the whole cycle of lying, cheating, disrespect, not really caring, not really putting in the effort. So the best thing to do before it gets to that point is to talk about it. When one partner notices the other giving 40%, they immediately drop their effort to 40%. So if I see you only giving me half effort, I'm finna give you half effort. The most dangerous part of 50-50 is the withdrawal loop. You see them dipping, so you dip too. You see them not trying, so you don't try. You see them playing around and just half-ass it, so now you playing around and you half-ass it. You see and you try to maintain that perfect balance of failure. Because that's not success, that's a fucking failure. Trust me, I know. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot better with it now because I understand the value of finding a balance in a relationship. But then a lot of times when you got all that energy and you working hard and you picking up the slack, you start losing focus on everything else. You don't have the time for the quality time. You don't have the time for the sexual aspect of y'all relationship. You don't have the time to get out and live a little and have fun because you're too busy picking up slack from the other person. I know all too well how that goes. You know what I'm saying? I know all too well on how that goes. So you start keeping things off the table until there's nothing left. A real relationship is perceived by lack of effort. And a lot of times, a real relationship responds to perceived lack of effort. So, not by mimicking failure. If you see them struggling, your move is to give 100% until they recover. Real shit. And then we turn this into the transactions because now we get into that. You know, the transactional nature of 50-50 kills the joy of giving, leading a planned schedule, and unromantic relationship. You worried about hitting your 50, you stop doing the unexpected. You stop planning a surprise date, the buying of random gifts, because you don't want to throw off the balance. Love thrives in spontaneous, the unexpected. 50% thrives in the scheduled. You are prioritizing financial equity over emotional excitement. You're trying to prove that you fair, but you forgetting to have fun. And then you got partners who sometimes they often weaponize their low points. They demand the support without offering accountability for their recovery. When they are down bad, they're 0%. And you have to automatically carry that weight of 100%. That's good. But does that 0% have a time limit? Because I ain't gonna hold you. I can't be in a relationship with somebody that ain't putting in no work. You know what I'm saying? Are they refusing to seek help or work on their comeback? Like they down bad right now. Cool. I get it. We all have our days. But if they are consistently staying at 0 because they know that you gonna pick up the slack, you ain't gonna never let it fail, they are weaponizing their weakness to control your resources. You are a partner, not a long-term rehabilitation center. You are a partner, not a long-term rehabilitation center. True partnership means I support your low point, but you gotta have a plan to get back to 100%. Ain't no giver and takers over here. We both givers. We both takers. I can't dwell or thrive in nothing that don't give back to me. Okay? I feel like the person who consistently provides the non-monetary, unmeasurable things, peace, confidence, inspiration, They hold the real power. That's real power. It's not the money. It's not the cars. It's not the fancy cars. It's not none of that. It's the confidence. It's the peace. It's the inspiration. It's the feeling, the power. That's real power. Stop thinking that money is the only thing that counts. If one person brings the money and the other brings peace, the vision, the confidence, the immeasurable 50%, the person bringing the peace has the real power. Peace is always worth more than currency. If your partner compromises your peace, you are selling a cheap dream right now. Demand a balance of value, not just dollars. When both partners, we both focus. We hyper-focus on maintaining the 50-50. We sacrifice our own individual identities, and that leads to boredom. That leads into lying. That leads into codependency. That leads into cheating. You start asking, is this our hobby or is this my hobby? You stop doing the right things that make you you because it's too hard to fit that into the 50-50 schedule because you worried about this balance. You become Siamese twins with a shared bank account in a sense. The attraction fades because you stop being independent. You stop being motivated. You stop being in tune with them, and you're not the person that they fell for. So there's a distance. It drives a wedge. That 50-50 is driving a wedge in everything y'all trying to do. Your commitment to the relationship should amplify your individuality, not erase it. I still want you to have your life. Don't stop doing the things that you're doing because you feel like that's the way to go. People focused on the 50-50 split often neglect joint future planning, like retirement and long-term investments, because they too busy keeping score. The 50-50 crew is always stressed about who paid for the groceries last week. The 100 couple is talking about who is paying for the house in 10 years. That obsession is different. If you can't align your long-term vision with, financial growth, then this relationship that you're in right now has a ceiling. Stop dividing the small things and start multiplying the big ones, because that's why you in a relationship. That's why you in this relationship. Straight up. The goal is to be collective. The goal is to be successful, not individual. The new rule is 100% effort from both of y'all. When you in the gym, you don't stop lifting when the bar is halfway up, right? You give 100% until the set is finished. You treat the relationship the same way. You ask, what can I do to win for us right now? Regardless of what they did 5 minutes ago. It doesn't matter what you did 5 minutes ago. What are we doing right now that's going to get us to win? You must fully present, dedicate yourself to whatever it is y'all both are trying to do together. Commitment is shared quality time and presence. Reciprocity ain't about just chores. It's about being fully vulnerable. Are you both equally willing to apologize first? Are you both willing to admit when you're hurt? If one person is emotionally guarded while the other one is always open, that's not 50%. That's 100% of emotional risk being taken by one person. True reciprocity requires vulnerability. Or you got to ask yourself this too. Are you using 50-50 as a defense to avoid stepping up? Before you accuse your partner of not pulling their weight, ask yourself this. Am I giving 100% right now? Sometimes we demand 50% because we only willing to give 50% ourselves. Your commitment is giving 100%. Is your commitment insurance? Like, I'm only gonna do halfway because I feel like if I go hard, they gonna get too comfortable. But giving 50%, You also telling your partner to give you 50% because they're going to feel that you're not really doing your job. They're going to feel like you really just not giving your full entire effort. So now you're open the door and telling them to not give their full entire effort. Stop aiming for 50-50, man, because that means you're aiming to do the bare minimum. Aim for 100. Watch how your relationship transforms. You want a partner, not a paid assistant. Tonight's explanation for all of this is very simple. The only time you should worry about keeping the score is when you're afraid you're losing. A healthy relationship is built on trust, not tracking, not keeping score, not keeping track of. When you commit 100%, you'll get peace in return. And I love peace. Give me all peace. That peace is your emotional, your ultimate return on the investment. Stop keeping score. Start building the future. Stop keeping score and start building the future. And on the next live, which is going to be tomorrow, we're going to be talking about potential is not a promise. All right, don't fall in love with what they could be. All right, y'all stay up. Y'all already know what this is. I see y'all when I see y'all, man. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about it. Stop half doing that relationship. Stop half doing that woman. Stop half doing that man and expecting them to fully go hard for you. Because I'm telling you, you'll fail every single time. See, me, I used to have that mind frame that I ain't got to do shit. Whatever I did to get us here, that's what I did. I got comfortable. That's not the trick of the trade right now, though. I don't ever want to get too comfortable where I feel like I ain't got to do shit. Where I ain't got to put in no work. Where I ain't got to be dedicated. I don't ever want to be in that space again. I was in that space for so long, and I felt like because of who I was, I felt like I could get away with so many things. I felt like I was good to go. I felt like I ain't have to put in no work because of who I was. And in due time, that shit got the best of me. You know what I'm saying? Because it started feeling like it was one-sided. Now, you can't play with me now. Like now, I really know everything that I want. I really know everything that I'm willing to give. And I be trying to tell people like this go round is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the same person that I was 2-3 months ago. I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was 4 or 5 years ago. I'm a totally different breed because all those experiences that I went through, they shaped me into becoming a better man for my lady. And that's what you gotta be. You gotta be better for that person that you dealing with. Fuck that 50-50 shit. They lied to y'all. That shit's not a real thing. A hundred. Or don't give me shit at all. You gotta have them conversations. If you feel like you putting in more work than the other person, you gotta have those conversations. Stop being scared. Stop worrying about what that person is doing and how that person is doing it. And you gotta start telling them, hey, listen, I need you to do more. I don't like how you ain't talking. I don't like how you ain't doing this. I need you to do more. And they either gonna start doing more or they gonna go on there and don't get on out your way. It's that simple. Y'all already know what this is. I see y'all when I see y'all. I'm out.